Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 46. And we're going to be sharing some of our favorite live show experiences, but we're going to wait for more people to show up. Rex, it's good to have you in the chat. I really appreciate you, the comments you leave on the videos you watch. So I know you're not always at the live stream, so it's really it's a pleasure to have you attending one of the live streams. I'll try to put on a good show for you. But yeah, while we're waiting for more people to show up, let me ask you, what you've been listening to lately? You've been checking out any new music, been re-listening to some favorites? Have you watched any good movies lately or good TV shows? And lastly, are you playing any video games? Leave a comment in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and dive into this first song, and I'm going to dedicate this first one to Rex. This one goes out to you. This one's called Waiting.
Round
are you? All right, just a second. So I actually received a phone call while I was performing that song. Let me just make sure this isn't anything important. I have received calls before, and I have a feeling this isn't related to the stream, but I have had calls before where someone's like, hey, the stream is, like, your audio is not coming through, so this is a family member of mine, so let me just make sure that this isn't important, and I'll be sure to let them know I'm stream. Oh, well, went to his message. I'm going to shoot him a text real quick. But if you're just joining us, we're going to be talking about some live show experiences in just a moment here. How would you love this to happen at a live show? Someone's like, I know I'm putting on a show, but 1 second, I've got to handle this text. Hey, I'm streaming. Just checking was something important. Okay, cool. So hopefully that is handled. But anyway, if you're just joining us, I'm Quincy Kane. This is live stream number 46. And don't be shy, say hello. And, let me know what you've been up to. You've been watching anything good lately? Have you been listening to anything? What you've been checking out? Or are you playing any video games right now? All right. Well, I will say for myself, I've watched a couple things lately. I recently watched through Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series, and my initial thoughts. First off, you should know that I would say I'm a casual Star Wars fan. You know, I'm always careful to say I'm a fan of Star Wars because Star Wars fans are like really big fans, like people who are fans of Star Wars, like they care so much about like the lore and the continuity and the story and all the characters and everything. And I'm just like, hey man, I just like the lightsaber fights. So I do enjoy the movies, but my favorite genre is action adventure. So what I appreciate most about those movies is the action, that's my favorite part of it. So with that said, as a casual Star Wars fan, yeah, there are characters I like. Yes, I'm always rooting for movies to tell good stories and portray the characters, invest me in the story and what's going on. And I felt like the series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, it had so much potential to tell like a really powerful story. And the story that it did tell, I don't think it was bad. Like it was enjoyable, like it was a fun series to watch, but I can't say that there was a whole lot worth revisiting. I can't say that it's worth going back and rewatching it. Now, there are certain scenes. In fact, the best scenes, the scenes that they should have done more of, was everything involving Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, or Anakin Skywalker. Like, that was the interesting story. That's what they should have told. Because, I mean, it's set up Kenobi great. Like, here he is, living in solitude, watching over Luke from a distance. And he's filled with this guilt of killing his Padawan, and this Padawan that was supposedly the chosen one. And then, spoiler alert, he finds out that his Padawan is still alive, so that in itself, rocks his world. And then he finds out not only is he alive, he's become this, force of evil. And so that conflict, that's already very interesting. And then for things to kind of resolve with him sort of learning how to bear that guilt, sort of understanding what has happened, sort of reconnecting with the, his past mentor, Qui-Gon Jinn. There was so much potential for a more powerful story with these characters. But instead, they brought in new characters and kind of focused on them. And aside from that, there were just some things that were really poorly done, like kind of inexcusably poorly done. Like, and I'm not even saying that as a Star Wars fan. I just mean from a movie or a story point of view. There were just certain things that like did not make sense, certain editing choices that were really awkward, and certain things that were very convenient for the plot. And the plot itself, like the scenes that were set up, kind of just went in circles. Like the story didn't really go, stuff happened, but we didn't really go anywhere. It's not like the characters really changed that much from the events that happened. And when the big events did happen, they had very minimal impact on the characters. So if there's a lot I could kind of nitpick about it, but it's really from the perspective of a filmmaker and a storyteller, not as a Star Wars fan who's looking down on it. I mean, I think it was fine. I think it was enjoyable, but yeah, I think it just had the potential to tell a more powerful story. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on Obi-Wan. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment. I'm going to go ahead and dive into another song here. This one's an instrumental. Yeah, hope you like it. Lego. Well, if you're out there, don't be shy. Say hello so I don't have to talk to myself. But if you're not out there, well, I'm just going to keep playing a few songs and kind of keep sharing a few things. A few updates real quick. What have I been up to lately? So there's a few loose ends I'm trying to tie up, a few things I'm trying to kind of finish up that have sort of held me back, but I am looking forward to kind of getting those things resolved and then getting back into a productive routine of putting out a lot of content and things like that. But probably the biggest thing that's happening right now is my first, the reason we're kind of talking about live shows, or at least I'd like to be talking about live shows, is because I have my first live show coming up. Now, this isn't my first live show ever. I've performed in front of audiences before. I've performed with a band before. I've performed metal. But, for this brand, this, solo project of mine as Quincy Kane, this will be my first live show at a real event. And I'm looking forward to it because it's combining two of the things I love, music and skateboarding. It's a skateboarding event. There's a local skate park, and they do this little festival where they've got, food and vendors and things around, and they've got the skate competition, best trick competition, highest ollie competition, and they do a game of skate. It's kind of like horse, if you've ever played horse in basketball, but you use the letter skate. You do a trick. Your opponent has to do the same trick. If they don't land it, they get a letter. So, and so they'll have a competition of that with brackets. And all the while having live music. So I've been kind of, as far as the performance side of things go, I feel pretty good. I've got the equipment I need. I'm a little nervous. Like, I know it's going to work, and I've even tested it out before. But, I'm still, like, hoping, man, I hope everything works properly. I hope I get plugged in and it sounds good. And probably the biggest thing I'm nervous about is I do hope people like it because, I'm not going to let it stop me, but it's hard to get a band these days. It's hard to find people who are committed to the music industry or committed to pursuing a career in music and share a common vision and have agreements in creating the same music and having the discipline to carry their weight, you know. That's the biggest challenge is, you know, if you're not paired up with people who are just as committed as you, then it's really difficult to make progress, and you find yourself in situations where you're kind of stuck because you're waiting on something from this other person. So, but I'm so thankful that technology enables us to share our music, and, you know, it's kind of crazy, but it's what I'm doing. You know, like, I'm just, you know, I don't want to make excuses, and so the best I can do right now is play guitar and sing and play along with a backing track. So this rig that I'm using here, I'm pretty much just doing the same thing, but through a PA system. And I'm not sure how people are going to respond to that. You know, I think people will be fine. I think most people, like, if the songs sound good, they'll enjoy it. And, you know, I try to do little things like I try to turn my guitar up a little bit louder. So, you know, so the backing track kind of sounds just a little more in the background, and my guitar is a little more front and center. And same thing with the voice, because I feel like that's what I should highlight is my voice and my guitar. You know, there's not really much point in highlighting the backing track because it's pre-recorded. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. But I'm hopeful, you know, I'm hopeful that people will be into it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm having to rehearse, having to practice a lot, and now it's getting closer. It's like less. It's a little more than 2 weeks away, and so probably the biggest thing I got to work on is just rehearsing, because it's going to be a 45-minute set. So it's not just being able to play the songs, but then knowing what to say in between the songs and things like that, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm looking forward to it. Getting lots of things prepared for that. I'll keep you posted and update you more on that. In the meantime, I think I'm going to dive into another song. It looks like Stan. Is that you? Hey, Stan. Glad you could join us. Or join me. I'm not sure if Rex was here a little while ago. I don't know if he's still here. But I think you said you had some things going on, and so I was kind of anticipating that you might be late or might not be at this stream at all. But glad you could make it. I was just talking about the live show coming up. Looking forward to it. That's the main thing, just kind of making preparations for that. There is a possibility. So I do have I do have a logo design finished. I might be able to show you. I mean, I could show you, but you know, maybe if more people show up, I'll show you guys. But I'm going to get these little business cards made that are going to have these QR codes, so I can hand out the business cards and people can scan them, and it'll access my DistroKid. It's sort of this little. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just a place that has all my stuff, has a bunch of music, has access to my YouTube channel, all that stuff. So so that looks pretty cool. So I should be able to get those little business cards made in time for the show. I'm a little concerned about the pics. I don't know if I'll get the pics in time, but I'm going to be meeting with my partner to work on that, and we're going to put the logo on the pic, and yeah, so we'll see. So that's pretty much the main thing coming up. So. Stan, you seen any good movies lately? You been listening to anything? Or are you playing any video games? You know, leave a comment, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and dive into another song here. This one's called Brothers to the End. One second. Take two. Unbreakable, bonded by our passion, undeniable, brothers till the very end. Just a bunch of outcasts, only meant for slaughter. But we will overcome this if we can band together. Look into my eyes, grab a hold of my hand. Remember who we are, brothers till the very end. Remember who we are. Just me. I know it's just me. Distant fragment, shattered pieces. Wow. Thanks, Stan. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll be recording this one. I don't think it'll be the next song. I've got a few songs I've got to release, but it's on the list. Eventually I'll have an official release of this song. And also, it's awesome that you're going to see Maverick for Kelly's birthday. Now, have you not seen it yet? Because if you haven't, I'm kind of surprised, but it's great. I'm looking forward to you seeing it. So I think y'all are going to have a good time, and it's definitely a good one to go out and see for a birthday. So hope y'all have fun doing that. If you're just joining us, don't be shy. Say hello. Good to have you. We're going to be talking about our live show experiences in a moment here. So, Stan, I know I just kind of unloaded some things on you about, like, have you seen Maverick yet? But let me ask you, have you been to many live shows before? And if so, what are some of your favorite live show experiences? Any highlights? A few things of mine. So the first live show, like an actual, like, known artist that I went to see, I was tagging along. It wasn't like a show that I wanted to go to. It's just somehow I had the opportunity to go along with some friends, and so I did, some friends and family, I think. And it was a third day show. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with the band Third Day, but they're kind of a, they're kind of a, I don't know what style music they are. Almost alternative rock, like very light rock kind of thing, and just sort of contemporary Christian music. I don't really like to use Christian as a way to describe a genre, but they're Christian artists, and Third Day has a few songs. They actually have a few songs that I really like, but I definitely would not consider myself a Third Day fan. It's just, the majority of their music just doesn't resonate with me. However, when I saw them live, it was like, wow, they're really good. This is a really good show. And that was kind of eye-opening for me because it's just amazing how powerful a live show can be, a live performance. Seeing someone live, even if you're not necessarily a big fan of the artist or their music, just somehow seeing them in person, performing their music live, like, kind of makes you appreciate it more. So I always kind of took note of that, and I kind of imagined, man, if this live show was, if this was such a good live show, and I'm not even a big fan of the band, how much more, how much better is a live show going to be if it's a band that I actually like? So that was kind of my first experience with a live show. Daniel, thanks for joining us. I'll hop into a song real quick since you're not going to be able to stay with us long. But I'm just sharing my live show experience. I was kind of saying my first live show experience was seeing a group called Third Day. And I'm not even a big Third Day fan. They've got a few songs that I like, but I just kind of went because I went like along with some family and friends. I had the opportunity to go. But I wouldn't like choose to go see them on my own. However, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the show. And so it was like, yeah, if I enjoyed a show from a band like that as much as I did, how much more am I going to enjoy a show from a band that I do like? And sure enough, I think the next like real show I went to, and this time by my choice, me and some friends went to see a show with a few bands. Had a band called Oh Sleeper. I don't even know if they're still around, but they're kind of a screamo, hardcore band, very similar to Under Oath. And then, who else was there? And then Haste the Day. I'm not like a huge Haste the Day fan, but my friends really like Haste the Day. And, but it sounded like a good show anyway. And there were a couple other bands there. I almost want to say The Chariot was there. I can't remember. But that was a cool show. That was actually kind of a cool gig because it was a smaller venue and it was an indoor skate park. So I remember me and my friends sitting on top of a ramp, and then there was a stage and they were performing. So that was pretty cool. I'll have to look up that venue. And that was a fun show. That was really enjoyable. What was another show? Actually, I don't know if that was the second one or not. That might have been the second show. But one of the best shows I went to see is kind of cool. I went like last minute. So in our local area, who was it? Paramore was coming to play. So Paramore was going to be there, and Relient K was going to be opening up for them, which is awesome. And I almost want to say, I think Silverstein was there too. And if they were, that's awesome. That's a great lineup. I don't know. I can't remember if Silverstein was there or not, but I know Relient K and Paramore were there. And I had some friends going, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to go or not. And then, like, last minute, I was like, all right, I'll get some tickets. So saw some tickets. There was tickets for the floor. I was like, okay, that sounds good. I'll get that. I'd never been to, like, a big venue like this before. So when I came up to the show, my friends, they had seats, like, in the stands, and I was on the floor, like, right in front of the stage. So it's just really funny that, like, last minute, I got, like, the best tickets. And that was a great show, like, just being right in front. I mean, great performances. It was great seeing those shows. I love Relient K and Paramore, so that was a really good one to see. And I got close to getting a drumstick. I think the drummer threw it, and I can't remember if I caught it, and then I think there was a girl next to me who caught it, or we both kind of did, and I let her have it, because I remember we got a picture, like sharing it, but, so that was that experience. I'm going to see what's going on in the chat real quick. Sounds like Daniel's typing up a good story. So yeah, Daniel, you type that up, and we'll explore that once you do. But yeah, Rex, Stan, if you guys have any good live show experiences, be sure to share them. I'll share one more with you, and then I'm going to dive into a song here. Let's see. I mean, there's a few more. Let me see if I can share two more with you. Probably the best show I'd ever been to was Summer Slaughter Fest. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that, but it was back in 2012. Summer Slaughter, or the Summer Slaughter tour, it was just like so many bands that I liked. But this was like when I was first discovering them. But after the show, I became such a big fan of these bands. But it was like Between the Buried and Me, which I was a fan of, Periphery, which I was getting to know at the time, and then The Faceless, which I became a big fan after the show. I was just discovering them. The Contortionist, which once again I became a big fan after the show, and Veil of Maya. So like those 5 bands right there, Between the Buried and Me, Periphery, The Faceless, The Contortionist, and Veil of Maya, like that's such an awesome lineup. Also, fun little tidbit. So if you look at Summer Slaughter, it's amazing. Just if you move one letter, you get a completely different title. So Summer Slaughter, but if you take the S from Slaughter and move it over to Summer, you get Summer's Laughter, which is like a totally different tour. You know? So like Summer Slaughter sounds like metal, and then Summer's Laughter sounds like some kind of like acoustic pop gig or something, you know. But anyway, that was an awesome show. I mean, so many talented bands, amazing drummers, and just like really influential to me as a musician. It was like, wow, this is awesome, you know. That was just such a good experience, such a good show. I've seen August Burns Red a couple times live, and I've met both the drummer and the vocalist. Of course, I was probably very awkward at the time because I didn't know what to talk about. But Matt from August Burns Red is an amazing drummer, so it was cool meeting him and seeing him play live. Who else have I seen? Let's see. I've seen Between the Buried and Me twice. They're one of my favorites, and whenever they're in the area, it's like, yeah, I need to go see them. I almost got to see Killswitch Engage. They were like playing a gig in my backyard, like, you know, just really close. I bought tickets for it, and then I found out my family was going on vacation, and the gig was like right in the middle of our vacation, so there was no way I could catch the gig and then come to vacation later unless I wanted to miss like half the vacation. So that stinks because Killswitch is one of my favorites. And then Ben Folds. Ben Folds came to play in our city, and that was a great show. And I was like right up on the stage, and he was right there. He actually kind of like smiled and nodded at me, so that was nice. I'd love to meet him someday. Haven't gotten a chance to talk, but that was a great show. Hearing him play and perform. Trying to think if there are any. I can't remember. I don't know if I have any like crazy like stories or events. If I do, I should have prepared them better. But if I think of any, I'll share them. But anyway, if you have any live show experiences, you know, feel free to share them. Who's the best band you've seen live, or who would you like to see live? You know, what's a band? If you could see any artist live, who would you want to see? Past or present, you know, whatever it might be. So leave a comment. I'm going to go ahead and dive into another song here. That was probably a pretty good show, Stan. Was that would that have been a JPJ or whatever, you know, here in our city? But yeah, yep. Last minute, you can miss certain acts like that, but that's still pretty cool that you got to catch those. Yeah, Metallica would be pretty sweet to see live. Thank you. I don't know if you mean the opening grit for that song or for Metallica or what, but either way. um, cool. So yeah, it's fun going to see a live show. I got a question for you guys. What do you think makes a good live show? You know, when you go to see an artist perform live, um, what makes it most enjoyable? I mean, I think that answer might be simpler than it could be, but I'm curious to hear from you guys. You know, what do you enjoy about a live show when you go to see someone? I mean, I know the obvious stuff. It's like if a band doesn't, if they're not really up to snuff, not they're just messing up all over their own songs. I get that ruins it. So the opposite of that is true. You know, as long as they just perform their songs well, it's like it's really that simple. You know, it's just a good performance. But is there anything special, anything you like when a band does live that kind of sticks out to you? Hey, Wade, thanks for joining us. And yes, Lincoln Park would have been awesome. I mean, I know I haven't really checked recently. I think they're still doing stuff, but obviously, it's probably going to be a bit different without, and it's going to be very different without Chester. But yeah, that would have been an awesome band to see for sure. I never got to see them. Probably the biggest band I have seen as far as like popularity probably was Paramore when I went to see Paramore, and they were great. Because truth be told, a lot of metal bands. I mean, there are big metal bands. You've got like your Metallicas and you know Slipknot's kind of one I think of when I think of like a big like arena metal band and stuff. Korn's probably a similar way, but a lot of the metal bands I like, Killswitch is kind of like medium. They're like a little bigger than the small end. Smaller bands, but I don't know if I think they've played arenas before, but I don't think that's like regular for them or whatever. I'd love to see Killswitch live sometime. But a lot of the bands I like, especially like these progressive metal kind of ones, Periphery and Between the Buried and Me, and that kind of stuff. The Faceless, they tend to play kind of smaller venues and stuff. But on the bright side, it's music I enjoy, and usually the tickets are pretty affordable. Whereas a bigger artist, you can pay a pretty penny to go see them. Trying to think who would I like. Yes, I'd want to see Killswitch. I'd love to see Silosis. Silosis, because I don't even know if they're over here in the States. I'm pretty sure they're over like in the UK or something like that. I know they're from there. And so I don't know how often. I feel like if they do come overseas to play shows here, they probably just hit up like the big spots. I don't know if they ever come to, like, I don't know if they're ever going to come to my city. So Silosis would be one that I'd love to see. Xtol would be sick. Xtol is one of my favorite bands. But yeah, we'll see. But Wade, yeah, that's a good pick right there. I know you said you hadn't seen too many shows. But if first off, tell me a little bit about yourself. Do you play any instruments or anything? Because if you do, here's a question for you and for everyone else. Who's a band that you would like to play with? Like, if you play an instrument, what instrument do you play, and what band would you like to play with? That would be kind of a dream experience. Good gosh, 200 bucks for My Chemical Romance, which is, I mean, it'd be awesome to see them live. They'd be a good one, and which I think they're back. I know they've been gone. They were gone for a long time, and I know they came back and did this sort of like return tour, or not really a tour, like a return concert or something. But my initial impression of that was that it was just kind of like a one time thing, but I think they released a song recently, so they may very well be back. They might be having a new album coming out or something like that, so I'm not sure. But yeah, My Chemical Romance would be awesome to see live. And Chili's, I don't know if you mean Red Hot Chili Peppers or if you're referring to something else with Chili's, but I know they're pretty big, so yeah, those are pricey. I don't think I've ever paid that much for a live show. Would I? It really depends on the band. I mean, they'd have to be a favorite. Again, a lot of my favorite bands are pretty affordable, so that's pretty convenient. Flyleaf would be awesome. I never got a chance to see them, but I would have loved to see Flyleaf. Okay, so Daniel's sharing his story, so I'm going to wait to read that because it looks like you're telling more, but already it sounds good from the beginning of it. Nothing to be sorry about. I figured that's what you meant by the Red Hot Chili Pepper by Chili's. You know, I was just trying to confirm. But yeah, if I could play with any band, I'd probably want. I mean, really, I wouldn't mind like whatever they want me to play. Like Silosis would be cool to play with. Extol would be. I'd love to play with Extol. That would be sick. Killswitch would be a really fun one to play with, just because I know a lot of Killswitch Engage songs. So I mean, if they let me play guitar, you know, I'd be good in that department. Again, I mentioned Flyleaf earlier. I'd love to play with Flyleaf. That'd be sick. Actually, one time for a youth event, me and some friends, we did a bunch of cover songs. We were kind of the house band for the event, for the weekend or whatever. And we weren't like an official band. It was just me and some friends, and we just kind of made up a band to play for this event that we were invited to play to. And we played songs from Flyleaf, from Pillar, from Reliant K. Who else did we do? Switchfoot. And so we just kind of collected some songs that we all liked and played them. And so I can just say playing those songs was a lot of fun. So playing those songs with the actual band, you know, would be tremendously wonderful. All right, let's see if Daniel is at the end of the story here. We'll have a look here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. So back in 2005, Daniel's sister took him to go see Megadeth, Dream Theater, Symphony X, Fear Factory. Like that already sounds like a sweet show. I bet Dream Theater is awesome live. That'd be a good one. It was in Dallas, and on their way home, listening to the radio, we heard some bands were going to do a tribute to Dimebag Darrell. So we're at the concert. Fear Factory has played, Symphony X and Dream Theater, plus all other opening bands. Megadeth was the headliner, of course. So during the break, after Dream Theater, we heard a bunch of commotion a few rows behind us. Some men and my sister turn around and see people pointing at Vinnie Paul, Dime's brother. So sitting a few rows behind us, just sitting there with the fans, blown away. Now this performance can be seen on YouTube as Cemetery Gates tribute. It was amazing because Dave came out doing the solo before Megadeth came out. Okay, story done. Cool. That's awesome. So they were just like a little behind you and stuff. That's really cool. And yeah, just chilling with the fans at the show, and that's really cool that they did a tribute to Dimebag Darrell. So, wow, that's really cool. And that sounds like that was in Dallas. But yeah, I bet that was an awesome show, man. Like that'd be a cool one to see. All of those bands. So that's sick, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's a good one. All right. So yeah, let me go ahead and play another song for you guys. But let me know if you've got a story to share. You know, what's a cool experience you had at a show. Let me know. What do you think makes a good show? You know, what's a band or what does an artist have to do to make a good performance? And who would be your dream band to either see or play with? If you could play with a band live, who would you want to play with? So let me know. I'm going to go into this other song here. This one's called Waking Up. Here we go. I was not ready for that. That's what makes a good live show when they can't start the song. Here we go. It's too much effort to pull away the covers that hold me down and won't let go. It smothers me, the weight of this anxiety pressing me into my pillow. A blissful sleep, chasing lies and counting sheep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am with all I have, waking up, facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. I toss and turn, and tick by talk the hours burn, pleading for this night to end. A part of me begging to go back to sleep. It sure is easy, but not for me. So here I am with all I have. I'm waking up, I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. You're not worth less. You have purpose. Wake up, see it. Time to dream it. So here I am with all I have. I'm waking up, I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. So here I am with all I have. I'm waking up, I'm facing what's in front of me. I won't back down, I can't stop now. I'm waking up so I can start to dream. Thank you. Yeah, that's even more intense. that it was the same year that he had died. So that's really awesome for the bands to to do a tribute to him and for his brother to be there. So and it's really cool that everyone was like they were excited about it, but it sounds like they were pretty respectful too. So that's really cool. Man, you've seen some good ones. You've seen like all the all the classics, all the legends. That's great. And it's awesome that you've seen Flyleaf. I don't know if you heard me say earlier. I never got a chance to see Flyleaf live, and they're a favorite of mine. So that's really cool. And Stan mentioned earlier that he'd love to see Metallica. So I'm sure he's happy for you that you got to see them. That's sick, man. Thank you, Wade. I appreciate that. Wade, do you play any instruments? Let me know. Do you, if you play any instruments, what instruments do you play? Who are some of your favorite bands? Who are some of your favorite artists? What do you like to do for fun? Tell me a little bit about yourself. It's always nice. I love it when we have new people in the chat and stuff, and so just want to get to know you. Daniel and Stan have been around for a bit. Daniel is sometimes busy with work. I don't know if he's going to have to head out soon or if he's still going to be able to hang out. But as you can hear, Daniel's a good guitarist himself, and sounds like he's seen a lot of awesome shows. So he's a cool one. Stanley's great. He's a good friend of mine, and he plays bass and guitar. And yeah, so share a little bit about yourself. And then Rex, if you're out there, love to hear from you too. I actually don't know. Again, Rex, I know you've commented on a lot of videos and stuff, and again, I always appreciate that. I'm not sure what instruments you play. I think you play guitar, if I remember correctly, but I'm not totally sure. So same questions for you, Rex, if you're still out there. What instruments do you play? What do you like to do for fun? Who are some of your favorite bands? Leave a comment. Let me know. Yes, that's good advice, because you never know when they're going to disband or when something's going to happen and you're not going to get that opportunity again. So probably the hardest thing is like if there's a band that I like and they are in the area, like I'll drive like an hour and a half at least. I mean, I guess it depends on how big the band. Maybe I would drive further. I try to do it within reason. I think it all just depends on the band, how far I'd be willing to drive. But unfortunately, it seems like, I mean, unless I'm just not seeing it, I might have to double check. But I'll have to see, look up a few bands of mine and see if they're ever coming to kind of around my area and stuff. Chevelle's another one I'd love to see live, and yeah, that would be a cool one. So I'll have to, and I know they're still playing shows and stuff, so I'll have to keep an eye out and see. Of course, recently with the whole like pandemic thing, I know bands weren't playing for a while, but I think now they're starting to get back into that. The live shows are starting to happen again. For a while, some bands were doing kind of these like, pre-recorded live shows or like these live streams. So I did see Killswitch Engage. They did like a live stream special. So I did see that, but that's not quite the same thing as seeing them in person, but that was still pretty cool. And then same thing for Silosis. They did like a little pre-recorded show kind of thing. So, but hopefully someday I'll get to see those bands actually play live. Wade, that's awesome that you saw Chevelle. And yeah, I love a lot of different styles of music. Style of music I make, I kind of call it alternative metalcore. And the reason I sort of call it that is because I get it. The metalcore influences are from bands like Killswitch Engage, but then the alternative influences are from bands like Chevelle and Flyleaf and that kind of thing. Those are definitely some of my favorites. And then I have some progressive elements as well, because I'm into a lot of technical progressive bands like the Faceless and Periphery and Between the Buried and Me. And then Silosis, they can be a little technical too, but they're a little more thrashy. So there's a lot of different bands I like and stuff, but that's really cool. And hey, there's nothing wrong with just playing guitar for fun. That should be the main motivator for playing guitar, just doing it for fun. And so that's pretty cool that you've gotten to jam with some friends and stuff. That's a lot of again, whenever you got friends to jam with, that's a great thing to do. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Daniel, I bet that's cool. And so yeah, that really is good advice because seeing bands like that, it's like can be really eventful and stuff, and especially when they're legendary bands. Being able to say that you saw them and stuff, that's definitely a special thing to have. So really cool, awesome guys. Wow, 60,000 people. Yeah, like so I've never been to a show that big. I think the biggest show I've been to somewhere between like 500 and 1,000 people, in an indoor venue and stuff. So, well, hold on, that's not true. The biggest show I've been to probably was the Paramore show, and that was easily over 1,000 people. I'm not sure how many. Definitely wasn't 60,000. I don't even know if it was 10,000. But definitely like over 1,000. It was a state. It was an arena. Um, I don't know if maybe stadium. It might not have been big enough to be a stadium, but it was definitely an arena. So not sure how many were in that, but that's probably the biggest show I've been to. But again, like I said, a lot of the bands I tend to go to, the gigs are probably more around like 500 to 1,000 people. Hey, that's all right, Wade. That's the great thing is, I mean, again, people like me who just love writing music, love playing songs. Like we need people like you, people who just enjoy listening to it. So there's nothing wrong if you just kind of play a little bit from time to time, but not like a huge player. But you can. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to like have a voice of what you like in music. That's awesome that you just love music and appreciate it. So that's great. But yeah, I can write down some of those bands. I'll write them in the chat real quick so you can check them out. When I saw her live, she was great. Haley sounded really good. So it was Paramore and it was Reliant K also. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but Reliant K was also really good. So that was just a really great show. I remember that being a lot of fun, and it was a while back though. That was because again, Paramore's not even around anymore. Haley's still doing stuff, but yeah, Paramore I think disbanded a few years ago. That would have been back. I think that was like 2009 or something. So it was a while back, but I remember that being a really good show, and the whole band performing really well, putting on a really good performance. Paralandra. I'll have to look those up. I'll definitely take that in mind. Keep that in mind. If I say look those up, look them up. Paralandra. That's cool. I'll have to check them out. So I just wrote some bands, the ones you were asking for. Christine, thanks for joining us. Good to have you. And yeah, Paramore is great. We were talking about some of our live show experiences and who are some of the best bands we've seen. I saw Paramore several years ago, and they were great. And we were also sharing, like, who would you want to see? Who have you not seen yet? So for me, Killswitch Engage, Silosis would be great. Those are the two main ones that are, like, still relevant. I would have loved to have seen Flyleaf. I would love to see Extol if they ever came around. I'm trying to think. There's probably some other ones. And who was it? I think Wade mentioned earlier seeing Linkin Park. Was that Wade or did Rex mention that? I think Wade said that. But yeah, Linkin Park would have been awesome to see. Christine, since you're joining us, let me go ahead and dive into a song here. But yeah, share with us. Who's the best band or artist that you've seen live? And if you could see anyone live, who would you like to see? Leave a comment. Let me pick out a song real quick. Let's give this one a shot. This one's called Say That It's Over.
Your smile so deceptive that it almost looks real. Well, it must be hard to fake what you do not really feel. You're hiding, I know it. Tell me what's on your mind. I only wish to help. Won't you let me back inside? Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Your face shows no reaction when I call out your name. Your presence like a ghost. You seem so far away, and you know that I love you, but the words seem to have died. I just want this to end. Please let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Let me inside. Don't drift your eyes. Just look at me when I look at you, because you must realize you're barely holding on and I'm holding tight. Would you just please try? Don't give in. You have to fight. Why won't you hear my cry? I don't wanna say goodbye. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. Tell me the truth just one last time. I promise I'll help you. If only you'll let me back inside. Say that it's over. And I don't wanna hear another lie. I just wanna help you. Please won't you let me back inside.
All right, sorry, a lot to catch up with. One second. Yeah, first off, just like Stanley was saying, but yeah, Wade, I'm definitely sorry about that. Like that's such a hard thing, and I can definitely say I can, relate to that for sure. Unfortunately, I'm trying not to, you know, uh, dive too deeply into this, but yeah, I'm definitely, my condolences and stuff, and that's really hard. But again, it's nice. It's the nice thing about like certain artists and live shows is when they do special things for their audiences and stuff. So that's really cool that even Chester had a broken arm and from falling off the stage, but that he still played and was great. And so kind of a similar thing happened at a Foo Fighters gig. I don't know if you saw that, where Dave Grohl fell off the stage and broke his leg, and then went and got that fixed, came back and stuff. Christine, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the song, and thank you. I appreciate that the voice compliment. Thank you, Daniel. That song's actually it is available. So wherever you like to listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music. I've got a Bandcamp and stuff, So there's a few places you can check that out, and that song's available, as well as a few other ones. But let's see here. And then yeah, three Doors Down. That would have been a good one to see live. I think they've got a different vocalist now, so I don't know if I'd be interested in seeing them now. But I'm drawing a blank on the name of their original vocalist, but I really like that guy's voice, and I like the few records that they did with him, so they would have been a good one to see. And then Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your shift at work. Hope that goes well. It's always a pleasure having you hanging out. So take care, man, and yeah, until next time. Awesome. I think I'm going to try to do one more song for you guys, and then, well, actually, it's a little earlier than I thought, so maybe we'll see what happens. But really appreciate you guys, Wade, Christine. Really appreciate having you guys in the chat. It's I always love having new people joining. To Las Vegas. Oh wow, in Vegas, that's pretty cool. Great work, Quince. I apologize, but I got to go. It's 9 a.m. here. Wow, Bill, you saw Billy Talent? That's really cool. Yeah, I like Billy Talent, man. Yeah, they would. I bet they were a cool one to see live. But Wade, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. It was nice to meet you. So hopefully you can catch some more. Hopefully we'll have a stream next week. Just don't forget to I totally drew a blank on what I was going to say. Sorry, I was reading the chats and stuff. Sorry. But yeah, Wade, really appreciate you stopping by, and hope to see you at the next show and stuff. So if you haven't already, I do have a link in the description with a sign-up list for my email list, and that's kind of a good way to sort of stay in the loop for when I'm doing live shows and sort of updates for new songs coming out and things like that. So if you want to stay in the loop, definitely check that out. But take care, man. Hope you have a good night. And Christine, I was going to say, yep, nice meeting you. If maybe you could share a little bit about yourself. Do you play an instrument? And if so, what instrument do you play? Maybe you could share who some of your favorite bands are, some of your favorite artists, and what do you like to do for fun, things like that. Again, Wade was kind of new in the chat as well. He was saying he plays a little bit of guitar, but kind of more just for fun, which is totally fine. And he likes, let's see here, he likes a lot of kind of nu metal, hard rock, kind of grunge rock stuff. So Cold, Seether, Korn, Slipknot, Deftones, Flyleaf, that kind of stuff. Daniel is back working his shift, but he likes a lot of the like Metallica and Megadeth and let's see, who else we got here? Alice Cooper, that kind of stuff. Stan is kind of in a similar boat, those kind of bands. Daniel plays guitar. Stanley also plays guitar, but he also plays a little bit of bass and stuff. So you play guitar and you live in Vegas. Wow, that's really cool. I think I had some friends go to Vegas once. I can't remember. I know they. We live on the East Coast, so we're a little far from Vegas. Vegas nights, yep. But it would be fun to experience that at some point. So I am kind of a fan of Texas Hold'em, so I wouldn't, it would be fun to go to Vegas to play a round of Texas Hold'em. But just to clarify, I love the game of cards, but I'm not a gambler. So so it's more so like, I pay to play, and if I win, awesome, and if I don't, it's like, well, I paid for a good time. So, but definitely not, so it's a big distinction there. So I'm not a gambler, but I love the card game, and I do enjoy it. So, but that's really cool. Let me see if I can find another song to play for you guys. And just a few updates while I'm looking for a song. Part of the reason we've been talking about live shows and stuff is because I've gotten my first live show coming up. So in less than 2 weeks, it's this month on the 23rd, I'm going to be playing for an event, a local event called Skate Nelson. Skate Nelson is a local skate park. It's about an hour and a half from where I'm at. No, not that far. Yeah, it's about an hour from where I'm at. Maybe more like 45 minutes, actually. But it's a very simple skate park, but they do like a little festival there where, they've got stands. They've got different booths and with, food and stuff like that. And they have different contests, best skateboard trick. What else? Highest ollie. They do a game of skate, which is kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with skateboarding, but it's kind of like a game of horse and basketball, but with skateboarding. You do a trick, and your opponent has to do that trick, and if they don't land it, they get a letter, and first one to spell skate loses. So, yeah, but this year they're going to be having live music at it. I was actually invited to play last year in the fall, but because of COVID, the event ended up getting postponed. So they're doing it this year. So I'm looking forward to it. I've played in front of people before. I've even played, I used to have a band back in the day and played shows, but this will be my first time performing as a solo artist. So I'm currently making preparations for that, getting a logo developed. I'm probably not going to have much merchandise, but I might get some guitar picks made. We'll see. I'm going to get some little business cards made to hand out, and I've got like my little table and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm excited for that. I'll definitely keep you on the loop. Let me play another song. It sounds like Stan had to get going. I don't know if he did leave or not. I don't know if you're still out there, Stan, but always appreciate you stopping by. Motionless in White. I think that's Black Veil Brides, if I recall. MGK and Slipknot. So very cool. Yep. I've got some friends who are kind of into those bands and stuff. Thank you, Stan. I appreciate that. Let me see if I can find another song here. What should we do? Trying to think what a good one would be. Let's do. I've got one picked. All right, let's try this one. So this one's called "Get Up Again." Let me get up, and I'll play this one for you. All right. Oh, check. Am I coming through? Cool. Since Christine's new, this one's for you.
Down on the floor, you've been here many times before. You can't ignore the time in hand is running short. No end in sight, and nothing's going right. Why even try? There's nothing left inside. It always hurts to lose what you wanted, but it feels worse to never have tried it. It's not the first and won't be the last time, so get up again. Still holding on. there's not much further left to crawl. No end in sight, and nothing's going right. Why even try? There's nothing left inside. It always hurts to lose what you wanted, but it feels worse to never have tried it. It's not the first and won't be the last time, so get up again. Stand your ground. Get up again. And again. Oh.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Kristen. Glad you, or Christine, sorry. You probably get that a lot, don't you, Christine? But glad you like it. That one's also available. So, again, wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, whatever it might be. Yeah, that song is available as well. So, cool. I think I'm going to try to pull out one more for you guys, and then I think that's going to be a wrap. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me see if there's a... see if there's anything else to tune into. But let me ask you guys, what have you guys been up to lately? Have you watched anything good lately? What you've been listening to, whether have you discovered a new artist or listening to something that's just a favorite of yours? And if you play video games, have you been playing anything good? Let me know what you've been up to. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that one's called Get Up Again. For myself, I recently watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and again, I'm not like a hardcore Star Wars fan. I'm more of a casual fan. My favorite genre is action-adventure, so my favorite thing about Star Wars is like just the lightsaber fights, But let's see here. So what did I think of it? It was an enjoyable watch, but I think they kind of missed the potential to the opportunity to tell a much more powerful story. So for those of you familiar with Star Wars, the story is following the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's basically this period of time between the end of the third movie and the beginning of the fourth one. And the series was best when it focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, or Darth Vader. But instead, it kind of brought in these new characters, and it was fun, it was enjoyable, but I think it just would have been a much more powerful story if it just focused on those characters and kind of what they were experiencing and what they were going through during this period of time. So, it was an enjoyable watch, but I don't know if it has a whole lot of replay value. But it does have me in the mood to watch Star Wars now, so I'm planning to watch through the original trilogy, and then I think I'm going to watch the prequels. I haven't seen the prequels in a long time, so I'm curious to see how I feel about them, watching them from a fresh perspective. Cool. Yep. Star Wars is pretty cool. What else? Me and my brother watched The Revenant last night, and I actually haven't seen that movie since it came out in theaters, which would have been back in 2015. But that's a pretty awesome film. Amazing cinematography. The visuals are just beautiful in it. And the kind of shots they get, there's a lot of really impressive oneers in like these action scenes that are really brutal. And really great performances from Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy and the rest of the crew. So that I remember when I first saw it, I remember I liked half of the movie. And what I mean by that is like, you know, the action bits, like those were really cool, but then it would kind of have these kind of artsy moments, you know? And I remember thinking it was, you know, a little pretentious might be the way to say it at the time. But I think going into it with that expectation, watching it again, I kind of realized like, oh, it's not as bad as I remember, you know? It does have those artsy moments, but I think they play out all right, and they're kind of a nice break from the intensity that's kind of happening, and then usually something exciting will happen after those moments. So it kind of gives the film a little more dynamic. So that's a really good one. Haven't really played too many video games. I'm still trying to get through Resident Evil 7 right now, but you know. And then as far as listening, not really sure. Haven't been listening to too much lately. Mainly listening to some new songs that we're trying to learn at our church in our praise band. There's a song called "Firm Foundation" that we've been trying to learn. But yeah. So what about you guys? You've seen anything good lately? Been listening to anything? Let me know. I'm gonna pick out one more song for y'all. Give me just a second here. Awesome. Yeah, I love the Resident Evil series. I've beaten the 7th one before. Have you played Resident Evil 7? Because that one's great. I've beaten it before. I loved it. And this is my second time playing it through. Yeah, it's a great game. The remake that came out, not the most recent one, but the remake of Resident Evil 2, that was really good also. So I don't know if you've played that. But those are kind of competing. Those are probably my favorite. Resident Evil 7, and then the remake of Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 4, of course, is a classic. And then there was a remake for the first Resident Evil, and I think it originally came out on GameCube, but I think it's available for certain PlayStation systems. I'm not totally sure. I got to look it up, but I've heard that's really good. Some people say that's even the best, because the original Resident Evil game, I don't know if you ever played that, but the dialogue is pretty atrocious in it. It's like really funny voice acting, but they did a remake of it, you know, new voiceovers and stuff, and it's a much more polished game, and yeah, that one's pretty exciting. I will say, me and my brothers, okay, so my brother had a friend, and he got his first PS2. And since he got a PS2, he didn't need his PS1 anymore, so he gave it to my brother, along with some games. So we're looking through this bag of games, and we're like, oh, cool, we got a few games here. And he pulls out Resident Evil, and of course, it's got that, like, nasty zombie on the front, and he's kind of like, ugh, we'll probably get rid of that one. You know, that's what he says. But my brother gets kind of curious, and he plays the game by himself. And later he tells me about it. At this time, I would have been like, I'm trying to think how old I was at this time. I don't know. I was like 8, maybe around 8, older, younger, something like that. But he tells me like, hey, I actually tried out the game and it was kind of cool. And I'm like, can you show me? So we play it, and you know, it was like if you've ever played the first one, there's the first zombie you come across. It's like this guy hunched over a dead body, and you don't know he's a zombie. He's just kind of hunched over, and you come up on him, and then he turns around and looks at the camera, and he's this creepy zombie and stuff, and that used to freak us out, but you know, we loved it. You know, it was like scary, but you kind of want to like keep going and see what happens next, and so that was pretty. So funny story behind that. So around that time on Friday nights, we would have dinner over at my grandma's house, and it was my family and some of my cousins. And so we brought over our PlayStation, and we went to show our cousins this new game, this Resident Evil game. Now, we didn't know anything about ratings at the time, so of course the game was rated M for mature. But so one of our cousins watches, and then he goes downstairs, and he says, "Hey, Mom, Quincy and them, they have an M-rated game. Can I get one?" And our parents didn't know we had it, so Mom's like, "What? What are you talking about?" So what she does is, later, me and my brother, we're at home, and my younger, I've got a lot of brothers. Me and my just older brother, but my big brother, the one who has the PlayStation, he was away at school. And what ends up happening is, while we're home alone, Mom asks us about the game, confronts us, tells us to go get it. And of course, we're kind of like, "Mom, it's not that bad." And so we go to get it, and we show her, and she sees the creepy zombie on the front, and she starts freaking out, like, "What is this?" And it's called Resident Evil, so she's like not sure what to think of it and stuff. So unfortunately, it got thrown away. And now we were able to keep the PlayStation, so that's nice, but that game got thrown away, which really stinks. But the funny thing is, like, it's not even like, there's not really anything bad in it. It's just a scary game, it's just zombies and stuff. But so that was our first experience with Resident Evil. And then I think later, maybe in the PS2 era, somehow I got a hold of Resident Evil 4. I think that was our next encounter with the series, and then been a fan of it since. So. Yep. So I don't have the original one for PS1, but again, like I said, it's supposedly the remake is really good, so I'll have to get that. All right, I got one more song for you guys. This one's for you. It's called "For You."
I know you've coped with this loneliness. You think you're okay, but you've been tricked. I'm out here pleading, but you can't hear me. Your silent screams are deafening. Well, ignore my warning. Just know that I'm sorry for you. And all this time, just know that I've tried for you. Come back to me. I thought I was different. You made me like them. Begged you to hold on, but you still let go. And from the distance, I can see what's missing. You never listen, so you'll never know. Well, ignore my warning. Just know that I'm sorry for you. And all this time, just know that I've tried for you. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. You're my closest friend and my deepest wound. My most painful scar, and I cherish you.
Thank you. Yep, Need for Speed is a good one too. We used to have some Need for Speed games back in the Need for Speed Underground. Those were great, where you get to modify your cars for like street racing and stuff. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anyone watching now or on the replay, if you look, there's a link in the description. I've got a virtual tip jar if you'd like to support me. I certainly appreciate that. If you don't have the financial means to support me, my biggest goal right now is building an audience. So I've got a link to an email list. So if you would join my email list, that enables me to notify you of upcoming streams, new song releases, things like that, and just kind of keeping you up to date with things that I'm working towards. But thank you so much for watching, and just, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, and inviting people to come, sharing the content so others can find it. All that kind of helps me in building an audience, so I certainly appreciate that. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I'm going to hang out a little longer. We can chat some, but this is going to be a wrap on the stream. I'll be posting some links in just a moment here, but thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a good afternoon or good morning, good night, I totally just messed that up. I hope you all have a good evening or good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.